Reese out of the game, favoring his shoulder. Kenny Wheaton comes in to spell him. First down, Giants now at the 50-yard line, and Gary Brown takes the ball to the Dallas 47-yard line.
You know, it's interesting, Al. I've been talking all night about offensive coordinators who are head coaches or head coaches who are offensive coordinators, and when they have good defense, and there's Jim Fossil, when they have good defenses as a head coach who is calling plays, they're going to tend to be conservative. They're going to think that they can keep the game close and win. There is Jim Skipper, who is the offensive coordinator by title. He does not call the plays, however. And my theory in this league is that you should allow the offensive coordinators to do their job and make the play call.
Second down and 7, and Shane Gailey addressed that last night. I thought had a very interesting comment, and here you have an offside, or with a flag going down, a false start. It was Alonzo Spellman who came crashing through. Was he induced is the question.
Offside.
He was
defense,
not.
number 97. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Shane Gailey told us last night, he said he has come to the realization that you call the plays a lot differently when you're the head coach than you do as the offensive coordinator. When you're the offensive coordinator, you're thinking about numbers, you're thinking about points, you're also thinking about getting a better job. Second down and 2. And this is Brown taking it to the 41. I thought it was a fascinating analysis of the situation.
He supported my theory in that when the offensive coordinator is away and up in the box and is able to see the entire field and try to put up numbers and create situations and create matchups, it's easier to do that than from being on the sideline and worrying about, should we go for it on 4th down? What is the defense doing? Where do we need to punt it? I mean, and you know, this is like the rage in the NFL now, where these head coaches all decide to, to start calling, their own plays.
Third down and 1. On a bootleg, Graham rolling under pressure, sacked at the 49-yard line. That's a great play by Greg Ellis.
And let me tell you why that's a bad sack, Al. If you go 4th and 1, you might consider going for it. You just have to throw the football away. You got to stop taking the sacks. They're putting your team in bad situations. And right here, Kent Graham, okay, nobody's open. You can't run it. Just get rid of it. Just throw it away. Don't worry about. And you could see the speed by Ellis, the defensive lineman for the Dallas Cowboys, but just throw it away.
Greg Ellis trying to win a trip to the Pro Bowl in Hawaii already this season. 4.5 sacks and 2 touchdowns. One on a fumble return, one on an interception return. Maynard's kick. Sanders lets it go, and the Giants try to save it at the goal line. And do they? Apparently they have. The officials will confer. It was David Patton getting down there and volleyballing it at the goal line before it crossed the plane, before he had stepped on the goal line himself. The officials are conferring to make sure.
That Patton actually established himself back in bounds.
And they'll mark it at the 2-yard line. So Dallas is pinned deep with 12 minutes to go in the 4th, and the game tied 3-3. Great play by Patton. The Dallas Cowboys pinned deep after that great special teams play by David Patton. Start from the 2-yard line. 1st and 10. The Cowboys tonight have 8 rushing yards. And they'll add to that almost half as many more here as Emmitt Smith takes it out to the 7-yard line, tackled by Ellsworth and Jones. We were talking about Shane Gailey calling the plays. Gailey, an offensive coordinator before he was a head coach. Fossil, an offensive coordinator before he was a head coach. Boomer saying it's in vogue as you watch Allen pave the way with a block, number 73. But what's in vogue now around the league is not only offensive guys, but defensive guys, a la Parcells. That's Bill's background calling plays as Emmitt takes it to the 8-yard line. Bill Parcells calling the Jets plays by trade through his career and upbringing, defensively oriented.
I always thought it would be great to play for an offensive-minded head coach, because you figured that he would understand you as a quarterback and he'd want you to get into a rhythm. But what I'm seeing across this league is that these guys are all calling the way that their entire team plays as opposed to only their offense. And I always had my best years when there was an offensive coordinator up in the box calling the plays, who are giving me a chance to get in a rhythm.
Just thinking about offense. 3rd down and 4. That's caught by Warren. And Warren breaks one out to the 30-yard line. And a big first down for the Cowboys. Sam Garnes, if he had tackled him, would have stopped him shy of the first down. But Warren able to escape and move the Cowboys out to the 30.
You see that play in the play guide tomorrow, and you say, wow, Chris Warren made a great play, but really Sam Garnes has got to make this tackle. And these are the little plays in football that mean so much. It's the difference between winning and losing, or little missed tackles like that.
Now it's Emmett again, and Emmett thrown for a loss again by Ryan Phillips. Smith tonight averaging less than 1 yard per carry. 16 rushes, 14 plays. One thing to keep in mind, when Jerry Jones went out to hire a coach after the departure of Barry Switzer, he said the most important thing to me was I was going to hire a head coach who was going to call the plays. On 2nd down, this is Emmitt Smith to the 27. It was my understanding they looked at Terry Donahue, former UCLA coach, now in the San Francisco front office. But from what I understand, Terry wasn't sure he would call the plays. He was going to have an offensive coordinator brought in, and Jerry was turned off by that, among other things, and wanted to bring in a guy who would actually call the plays.
Well, you see that last, it's 2nd and 12, and they hand the ball off, and they get no yards, and it's a little handoff up the middle, and they're not running worth anything tonight. Why would you even do that? To me, I think sooner or later you just have to let loose. You have one of the greatest quarterbacks that's ever played in the game. Let him play.
3rd down and 12. Aikman from the gun. The Giants rush only 3. And then Troy throws over the middle and hits Ernie Mills, but well short of the first down, and Dallas will have to punt.
And you know, and he's frustrated because he has to stand back there and he's got to take these little things, and he never gets a chance to get into the rhythm of the game. You know, and the hardest thing for any quarterback, Al, is to hand it off. Okay, it's 3rd and 12. Go make a play for me. You know, quarterbacks want to get into the game. They want to throw the ball on 1st down. They want to be able to complete short passes to move the chains, not always get backed up 3rd and 12, 3rd and 8, and stuff like that.
So he'll be going to punt. Barber deep for the Giants. That's a good punt. Barber at the 15-yard line. And Tiki breaks one out past the 40. He gets by going. They chase him down the sideline. Tiki staying in bounds and goes all the way for the touchdown.
Finally a break for the New York Giants. Al with a terrific run back and set up the blocks. Toby going again, out kicking his coverage, and Tiki Barber breaking a few tackles and outrunning him down the sideline. Finally a break for the Giants.
No flags, and he was able to stay in bounds. It's one of those things, there's so much action on the sideline with the players and everybody else converging that you don't know for the moment if he was able to stay in bounds. He just barely does. Look at that.
And when you kick and you outkick your coverage, you give that cover man an opportunity to set up the return, and that's exactly what happened. And what a terrific play by Tiki Barber.
Giants take the lead. It's the 2nd longest punt return in Giants history. Well, if somebody told you tonight that number 21 would run back a punt for a touchdown at the Meadowlands, you say, oh no, not Dion again. Nope, wasn't Dion again. It was Barber. 10-3. Tiki Barber has given the Giants the lead. More action Thursday night. ESPN a special Thursday night game as the Chiefs meet the Ravens in Baltimore. And then Monday Night Football moves to Three River Stadium next week. The Atlanta Falcons against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers coming off a win against Cincinnati, trying to get their act together with Stewart and Bettis and company at home next week against the Falcons on Monday night. Now Rizzo's kick fielded up at the 8-yard line by Kevin Mathis, and he brings it back to the 30. So Tiki Barber in a 3-3 game, fielding this one at the 15-yard line. And this, the 2nd longest punt return in Giant history, second only to Amani Toomer's 87-yard run back 3 years ago.
Well, defense and special teams, it's not pretty, but it can be exciting. And Tiki Barber showed you right there why it can be exciting. And you see his combined yards for the night, 167 yards. certainly the MVP of this, at least offensively from this point.
Absolutely. First down for Dallas now at the 29-yard line. And the Cowboys with no running game at all tonight. Aikman to the air, and Aikman overthrows Rocket Ismail.
And he actually had the rocket that time. But again, you're asking Troy Aikman now. It's in the, we're in the fourth quarter, and now all of a sudden we're going to throw on first down. When you have a player like Rocket and a player like Troy, and you have an offensive line like this, I know that you feel like you want to run it with them at all the time. But he felt like he got held there by Felipe Sparks. But again, why wait until now? Felipe gets away with one there.
He does. Second down 10 from the 29. Ismail in motion. Out of the ground, and now Emmett takes it up to the 34. And for him, that's a masterful run tonight. Jesse Armstead brings him down. Smith now with 18 carries for 19 yards.
That's working, Al. That is working.
Not very effectively either.
Yeah, but it's still, I mean, it's not always. And one thing you know about the NFL, one week it's 100 yards, the next week it might only be 50 if you're lucky. But the fact is he's working. He's out there, he's getting pounded, and he's earning a day's pay, I can tell you that.
Third down and 5 up at the 34-yard line. 7 minutes to go in regulation. Here they come. Aikman steps up, and then the pass is incomplete. Broken up. It's Andre Weathers, a rookie from Michigan, who ran a pass back for a touchdown on opening day on a pass here intended for Ernie Mills.
And you just saw John Fox with the 2 thumbs up, and I'm telling you, this defense deserves all the credit in the world. They just 3 and out continually for the Dallas offense, and let's see if Tiki can do it again. Do they punt away from this 21 now?
Barber again. The Cowboys had not allowed a touchdown on a punt return since 1990 prior to Barber's scamper and a penalty.
And we're going to have movement in the offensive line. I think this is going to go against Dexter Coakley this time.
Hantak has that quizzical look on his face. Hello, Dick. Aloha.
False start offense. Number 58. 5-yard penalty. Still fourth down.
Now I saw that up here. Call down to Dick and say, hey, come on, let's go. Let's pick it up a little bit.
Moves the line of scrimmage back to the 29-yard line.
Kicks his coverage.
Barber, 21-yard line, and this time Tiki gets wrapped up after a 10-yard return up to the 31. Larry McDuff proud of his boys tonight, because his boys, his special teams unit, is the difference. 10-3 New York. Here, Kenny. Tonight on Nightline, the Billionaire and the Boss, 2 men who think they might be able to put the pieces back together again in Kosovo. That's tonight on Nightline.
Well, we're going to find out now how much confidence Jim Fossil has in his offense, and we'll see that on the play selection, whether or not he throws it or runs it. And this is a time where an offense has to be able to do both and do both effectively.
And they stay on the ground, and that is Brown. Wrapped up by Greg Ellis against a Cowboy defensive unit that's minus Chad Hennings, the starting defensive tackle, minus George Teague, the starting strong safety. Ezel Reese is also out. Ezel took a blow to the head, and his return is questionable. So in the secondary right now, they have people like Kenny Wheaton, who'd be the last guy on the chart, and Troy Aikman can only sit and wait and hope. Second down and 10. Play clock all the way down, and swings one out, and Charles Wade juggled it and never had control of it. Out in the flat, Randall Godfrey covering on the play, setting up a 3rd and 10.
Kent's got to get around. It's tough for a right-hander to throw to his left after making a play fake, but he's got to put the ball out in front of him. It's about accuracy down here. And the last few times Kent has dropped back the pass, he hasn't looked real solid in the pocket, and you can see it's behind Way, and it's not easy for a fullback to make that adjustment, especially somebody as stiff as Charles Way is above the waist.
3rd down and 10 at the 31-yard line. Graham out of the gun, dumps one off, and it is Barber. He almost broke it. It was Dat Nguyen, the rookie from Texas A&M, who tripped him up. Otherwise, Barber may have sprung loose.
So I said to Changeli last night, are we going to see Dat Nguyen somewhere? He goes, oh, he's on nickel because he is quick, he is fast, and he makes plays. He's a kid that's always around the football. What a tremendous play that was.
Dat Nguyen gives him a chance to win right here.
That's exactly right. Watch him. He jumps around, number 59, and makes the play. Not an easy tackle for a linebacker in the open field. Look at this guy.
Otherwise, Barber picks up the first down. He's praying, punt to me, baby. And Maynard's kick.
He's going to get his chance
He
now.
angles it, fielded by Dion at the 21. And Dion can only bring it back to the 33. If you're going to punt it to him, at least punt it outside the numbers, between the numbers and the sideline, which he does. 5:03 left in regulation. Jinx by 7. Here's a reminder, Wednesday, 2 guys and a girl are going to a football game, but nobody told the girl.
Al, we're just 2 guys going to a football game every Monday. And we know how to dress.
We certainly do. We even buy our own clothes.
That's exactly right.
Now, with 5:03 to go, the Dallas Cowboys, were coming into this game, were the only team in the league to have rushed for 100 yards in every game. Tonight, the Cowboys won't even come close unless somebody breaks one, as Aikman throws. It is caught at midfield, and Ernie Mills breaks a tackle and is run out of bounds inside the 35 at the 33-yard line. That's a 36-yard pickup.
And I always wonder why teams can't do this early on in games, especially when you have Troy Aikman. Is it just because you don't have opportunities? You're not giving guys chances? And I think that's the reason why. Al, you have a great quarterback back there. Run some play action passes. You have a big offensive line that should be able to protect them. And when you play conservative on the other side, you have to be careful. Sooner or later, it's going to come back and get you.
1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. Aikman throws, hauled in by Ismael at the 16-yard line. So just like that, Aikman, 2 passes, 1 to Mills with a broken tackle. This one's 16 yards, and the Cowboys are at the Giants 16.
And vintage Troy Aikman, meaning that he's standing back there, he's delivering the ball confidently. The ball is got a little zip on it, and you can see right here he is throwing the ball with a little bit of touch, good accuracy, and Ismael making a nice adjustment on the football.
1st and 10 from the 16-yard line. To the ground again, to Emmett, who picks up 3 on his 19th carry of the game. To the 13-yard line. Clock ticking down to the 4-minute mark. Cowboys tonight a total of 20 rushing yards.
Now the rocket goes down right in the middle of the huddle, and they have to stop the play. He's injured. He went to Troy Aikman right before they got into the huddle, and he said, hold on, I'm not feeling right. There's something wrong with me.
So an injury timeout here as they work on Ismael. Monday Night Football being brought to you by 1010-220. Dial it, and your local long distance calls could cost under $1. Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, this is the taste. Valvoline. You can always tell the guys who use Valvoline. And Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down. Make it a Bud Light.
There it is, Giant Stadium, built on a swamp. And it is awful windy out here. There's John Fox trying to figure out a way to stop the Cowboy offense, and I think this injury kind of helps the Giants a little bit to regroup.
The Cowboys had it going on those 2 passes from Aikman.
And now you lose your your next best receiver with what this is interesting. Holding his left arm out as if.
We'll get a report from the sideline. I can't even speculate on what it is. Second down and 7 at the 13-yard line. Now Jason Tucker is the guy who comes in to replace him. Ernie Mills splits the other way. That's Mills in motion. And that's Mills coming back, and he tosses it back to Smith, and that still doesn't fool the Giants. That's Ryan Phillips holding his ground, keeping his position on the left side of the defense and breaking up the play.
Not often things like that work, especially down here. I guess it's a different type of play, but to me, you move the ball down here, throwing the football. Troy looks good. Keep it going. I know that Michael Irvin obviously is not out there. Rocket has just come off the field, and there he is. He's still not on the field.
Emmitt Smith may have 20/20 vision, but he's also 20 yards for 20 carries tonight. One of the worst nights of his career. Third down and 9, and that is caught by Warren, who breaks a tackle and takes it to the 5-yard line, and a first down. Armstead couldn't tackle him, and because of that, they'll be able to move the chains as the ball is spotted just inside the 6-yard line.
We've seen 2 huge plays that Chris Warren has made tonight. First, he makes Sam Garnes miss earlier in the night, and now Jesse Armstead. These are plays that you have to make in these situations if you want to win the football game. And Jesse Armstead has been very vocal this week. Had to make that play right there.
And didn't. First and goal from outside the 5. Smith looking for room, fighting and chugging and churning. And Emmitt takes it to the 1-yard line. Willing himself down to the 1.
One thing you could say about these Cowboys, and you and I have seen this now the last couple of years, there is absolutely no quit in Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin. When they are on the field, Al, they believe that they can beat anybody in any given situation.
See it in his eyes.
Absolutely.
2-minute warning at the Meadowlands. Giants precariously holding on to a 10-3 lead. Report on Rocket Ismail. An injured left wrist is what we're getting from the bench. Should return, but he's not in at the moment. They're going with a triple tight end set here on second down and goal. A reminder, after the game, you can tune into ESPN's SportsCenter Monday Night Football post-game show with live reports and analysis. They have 3 tight ends and a fullback in the huddle right now.
Here we go. It's on the Giant defense again to stop them. I go back to the 6-minute and 40-second mark when the Giants took over on first down, and 3 plays and out. Give the Cowboys the ball back with 5 minutes and 3 seconds, and in the second half have done absolutely nothing offensively. 4 plays, 5 plays, and 3 plays.
Cowboys almost doubled the Giants total. The difference in the game, of course, is the Barber punt return of 85 yards. Tight formation, second and goal from inside the 2, and they give it to Emmitt Smith, and there he goes into the end zone to give them a chance to tie the game. And for Emmitt Smith, the 130th rushing touchdown of his career. That's a record, and the 140th total touchdown. And it's almost as if, I mean, you've heard about teams that find a way to win, and that's exactly what the Cowboys will do tonight. If they win this game, they will have found somehow, some way in this morass of an offensive performance tonight a way to win.
You could just see the strength and Jesse Armstead turning the wrong way, and he's actually going up against the tight end, number 84, Mike Lucky. Mike Lucky took Jesse Armstead right out of the play.
Cunningham to tie the game, and does. Emmitt Smith came into the game needing 25 yards to hit 13,000 in his career. You would figure that's easy first quarter. It takes him 58 minutes, 3 seconds, but he finally gets there. 22 carries, 26 yards, but in crunch time, there he was to tie it.
Well, there's Kent Graham. They haven't done anything offensively, and You know, I guess if you're the Dallas Cowboys, you got to feel pretty good about where you're sitting right now. But there's Jerry Jones. I give him a headset. I mean, the man's right in the middle of it all. I mean, how many owners in the NFL do you see down on the sideline? It looks to me as if he's trying to coach the team. He's working up the sweat and everything.
And his son Steven, and
they're right in the middle of everything.
Well, they've had marvelous success in the 11 years that
calling plays.
The Jones family, maybe
signing checks, yes.
Boomer, I'll tell you one
thing.
I'll tell you one thing. If you're a fan of the Dallas Cowboys, I mean, you've got an owner who's won 3 Super Bowls,
and he wants to win. There's no question about that.
3 Super Bowls.
But
3 more than a lot of other owners have won.
You know what? I played for Paul Brown, and I never saw Paul Brown on the field once, and he was a coach. Right?
He'd had enough of it.
He probably got sick of it enough. All right, enough of these guys.
Scott.
Oh, he certainly loves his Cowboys, and he wants to win. There's no question about that.
Toby going to kick off.
He's right in the middle of it, boy. I'll tell you that.
Patton and Barber back to receive. And this is David Patton with Barber trying to lay down a block, and that's a great tackle by Robert Thomas, a guy who started as a linebacker. He's such a good special teams player. They wanted to find a way to keep him on the team, so they made him a fullback so he can play offense, he can play defense, and he just who's there special teams as well.
And Jan Gelly was telling us that with about 2 weeks to go in training camp, he wasn't going to make the team as a linebacker, and Buddy Geis, I believe, came over to him and said, hey, didn't we talk about maybe moving this guy to fullback? He's just too good on special teams to have had to cut, so they kept him as a backup fullback, and he certainly showed you there why he's a valuable member of this team.
1:52 remaining in regulation. The game is tied as the Giants start from the 19-yard line. Graham comes back the other way. Nobody's home. And now the Cowboys will turn around and ask who he was throwing to, as Alonzo Spellman shoves Graham into the turf.
Well, they were trying to run a screen back to Tiki Barber. They had originally faked it to him. He rolled away. And then really what I like here is at least Kent Graham did the smart thing. He got rid of the football. And this offense right now looks confused. You can see him fake it to Tiki, rolls to his right. It's going to look back to try to get the screen going. But the Dallas defense read it very well. Hey, if you're the defensive coordinator right here, Dave Campo, come after these guys and force them because they haven't shown me anything tonight.
Giants have 2 timeouts. The Cowboys have their full complement of 3, second and 10 from the 19. Graham guns one, and it is juggled and held onto by Toomer, and Dion is right there. He stays in bounds. Clock rolls, ball at the 23.
I call timeout if I'm the Dallas Cowboys right here. I don't know why they're not calling timeout. You have to call timeout.
Well, I think you still have to wait here because if the Giants convert, it's 3rd down and 5. You hurt yourself if the Giants convert. Now, of course, if they don't, then you call timeout right here.
You think they're going to convert right here?
I don't know. 3rd down and 5 from the 24-yard line. Flag. Action up front. Graham hit as he throws. The ball is picked off by Brandon Noble at the 21-yard line, but Graham is saying not a problem. The Cowboys are offside.
Hey, the best offensive weapon that the Giants have had tonight has been Kent Graham calling snap counts and getting guys to jump offside.
And Alonzo Spellman is the guy, and this is going to be, it's 3rd down and 5, and from where we are, I think they're still going to be a little short of the first after the penalty.
Offside. Defense, number 90.
They will be a little short of the first down. It will be 3rd and inches now at the 29-yard line.
And we have one of the biggest quarterbacks in the league right here. Just run a quarterback sneak right up the middle and just get it over with, and now start over with your 2-minute drill. Right up the middle. Just let him take it himself.
Instead, he turns and he hands the ball away, and Way only needed a few inches. The Cowboys say no, but from here it looks like yes, and Hantak says yes. That's a 1st down.
Well, the Giants have got to get moving or call timeout or something. They have to. There we go. We call timeout. Man, I'm telling you, this is tough to watch, Al, because it just doesn't seem like this is the offense that I ran in Arizona with Jim Fossil. It was an attacking offense. It was an offense that moved down the field, and it's just painful watching it just kind of just move, and you know it's just not flowing.
Well, they haven't been in sync tonight. They haven't been in sync all season offensively. I mean, tonight they're kept in the game by their defense. And by one special teams play.
Right, and their possessions up to this point, 4 and out, 4 and out, 5 and out, and 3 and out. A bunch of sacks, some penalties.
10-10 with 49 ticks left. Happy Tuesday, by the way. It's midnight. Tuesday morning football is being brought to you by.
Don't you worry about it, Al. New York stays open.
Oh, yeah, I heard.
Hours,
I've heard. 1st and 10 from the 29-yard line. Graham throws. It's caught. And it is Joe Jurevicius who makes the catch, picks up the first down, and saves a timeout by getting out of bounds at the 41-yard line with 44 seconds remaining.
When you have receivers the size of Jurevicius and Toomer, and with the arm that Kent Graham has, those plays should be pretty easy for those guys to complete. I'd continue to work, especially with the way that the Dallas Cowboys play defense, and that was against Deion Sanders that last play.
1st and 10 at the 41. He almost gets the Cowboys drawn offside, but no flag, and then it is dropped because looking upfield was Pete Mitchell. Had it, started to look upfield. It was quite clear that he didn't look it into his hands. Charlie Williams with the coverage, 2nd down.
They brought Pete Mitchell in to solidify the offensive passing game, and you can see right here, when the ball is thrown, you have to look it in. He turns his head away from the ball and loses his concentration. And it's a nice throw by Kent Graham. You got to have a little help when you're a quarterback, and right there, Pete Mitchell doesn't come through for you.
2nd and 10 from the 41-yard line. Graham, a little dump off underneath to the man of the hour, Barber, breaking tackles all over the joint, heading for the end zone. Sanders saves the touchdown, but may have not saved the game as the Giants are in field goal range with 27 seconds to play. Tiki Barber.
A terrific run by Tiki Barber. Give Kent Graham credit for staying in the pocket, biding a little time, throwing a nice, easy, soft touch pass to a wide open Tiki Barber. Now that's how you run. You run right up the middle of the field and you break tackles. 3 missed tackles, and then Deion Sanders saving a touchdown run.
Meanwhile, the Giants sprint to the line of scrimmage with the play clock down to 3. They give the ball to Gary Brown. He is tackled at the 2-yard line. There's another marker down.
Illegal substitution. Defense, 12 men on the field during the play. Will penalize half the distance to the goal line. Repeat, 1st down.
So half the distance to the goal line takes them to about the 1.5-yard line.
Well, if you're in here now and you're Kent Graham, you're telling your players, if you hand them the football, Al, you have to tell them, don't struggle for extra yardage. If it's there, it's there. If it's not, do not fumble.
You can't. I mean, you have a chip shot field goal right here.
And it wouldn't surprise me either if they just ran a quarterback sneak, or if he just sat on it. That would not surprise me either.
1st and goal from the 2. Graham angles over right guard, and the Giants thinking about calling the timeout. And
Cowboys,
well, you're in a position. Way is looking to call a timeout, but it's really the Cowboys who need to call the timeout to try to save whatever is left on the clock, because a field goal is a near certainty right now at worst.
Well, if there's a coach that needs a win in this league, it's Jim Fossil. He's been under fire because of his offense, and they have not played well, and they hadn't played well tonight either up until really, I guess they had the first 18-play drive in the first half, but they hadn't really done anything until this last 2-minute drill here, and they made some nice plays, but certainly right here they have to be careful. You do not want to fumble the football. They still have 1 timeout to go. It's 2nd and 1. I could see them trying the quarterback sneak again. I can't imagine him trying to hand it off here.
Dave Campo just shaking his head. The Cowboys are on the verge of another unbelievably agonizing 13-10 loss. That was the case last Sunday in Philadelphia and will be the case here unless it's 17-10. Second and goal.
And again, hold on to the football, fellas.
Inside the 1. Graham taking a knee. Smart play here. He holds on to the football. The Cowboys doing everything to jar the ball loose.
And he moved to the center of the field to give the field goal kicker a straight shot. And they're going to wait here now. Probably to about 6 seconds left before they call timeout. 6 to 4 seconds left. There we go.
And so Fossil takes the timeout. The Giants will send in the field goal unit. Brad Dalwiso will try to win the game. Brad Maynard will hold. Jason Whittle will snap. We're talking to Fossil yesterday, and they were a little concerned about Jason Whittle snapping.
Remember, they lost their long snapper, Lance Scott, due to an injury earlier in the season, and this is none of this is ever a gimme. And the one thing we've seen in this league, Al, this year is we've seen everything.
Yes, we have. And we saw a Philadelphia-Dallas game a couple of years ago that ended with what appeared to be a sure Philadelphia field goal and a bobbled snap. Tommy Hutton and a Dallas win. This one is to win it. 5 seconds left. It'll be spotted at the 12. It's a 22-yard field goal attempt. Good snap, good hold, good kick.
Well, if there was ever a coach that needed a break, Jim Fossil got it tonight. He still has an awful lot of work to do with his offense. And he'll probably start by examining penalties and miscues, especially up front.
And a missed field goal that went off the upright at the end of the third quarter. I mean, a million things to look back on.
And a heck of a timeout to make the Cowboys kick into the win.
Absolutely, but in the same end zone through which Dalwiso just put this chip shot.
Right, exactly.
Maynard putting it down, Dalwiso sending it through, and the Giants a 21-yard field goal officially. And Jim Fossil has just watched his team at an early season crossroads go to 3-3.
And everybody owes this guy a little debt of gratitude right here. He's had a great night, and it's been on special teams and a one big catch he had at the end.
They should carry him off in a sedan chair. Monday Night Football, the Cowboys have routed the Giants. 7th time these teams have met on Monday night. Look at the last 3. 38-10, 35-0, and 31-7. And tonight, Dion, who has been not much of a factor apart from the fact that they've been kicking away from him and not really throwing in his direction, and that's nothing new.
Well, I can tell you right now, they're not kicking it back there now. This will be a dribbler down the middle.
And they'll do whatever they can to get it into Dion's
And if
hands.
it's not, somebody needs to have their head examined.
Well, it'll be a bouncer, and barring a run back for a touchdown or barring a penalty, the Giants will go to 3-3. Washington will be alone in first place in the NFC East.
Now there's a team that can play some offense.
The Cowboys will go to 3-2, and the Redskins and the Cowboys will meet in Irving on Sunday.
What are they doing?
Well, they're going to kick, and Dion's going to take it at the 12. Now, wouldn't this be the all-timer? Dion's looking to lateral. Now he's going to keep it. Now it's like the Stanford play. Is this possible? Kevin Mathis, unless it was a forward pass, and Mathis laterals it. It will go for the moment for a touchdown, but there's a flag down to the 28, and the flag, I would think, is for a forward pass on the return. If it's a forward pass, obviously it comes back. The officials now gather. I guarantee you we're going to have a replay. There's
illegal
no question
forward
about
pass
that.
during the return.
All right, now
the game is over.
The game is over for the moment. Gailey is saying, but wait a second, upstairs they have to look at this play. The Giants, of course, are going to vacate the field as quickly as they can. Upstairs, they're going to take a look at this. Now, you be the judge as we see Dion. He's going to dance, work his way through. He initially attempts to lateral here.
Let's take a look.
Watch where he is. He comes up to the 26, and that is a forward pass.
It goes forward. Yes, it does.
Yep.
Now, Al,
by a yard or a yard and a half.
Al, my first question is who called that? Why would you kick the ball off like that?
Well,
what a great execution play by the Dallas Cowboys. Let's take a look at it. It's very clear that it went forward.
It's the old Cal Stanford play from the 1982 Classic. And that one should have been brought back for about 9 penalties. Apart from that, it was one of the most memorable moments in football history. Singor Mobley winds up going into the end zone for a Pyrrhic touchdown.
Al,
and the Giants wind up winning the game by a score of 13-10. So the Giants huddled in prayer. Eric Williams doesn't seem to be too upset, at least for the moment. In a moment, back with the play of the game. And emptying after a crazy finish, but the play of the game, the CNET.com play of the game, would be Tiki Barber with the game time 3-3, fielding the Toby going punt at the 15-yard line, skirting the sideline, staying in bounds, getting by Mobley, going all the way for the touchdown. And then after Dallas had tied the game, it was Barber again taking this little swing pass, going 56 yards for the touchdown. Tiki, the third-year back out of the University of Virginia. Obviously, the player of the game is with Leslie.
Al, a fantastic night for Tiki Barber, who a couple years ago wrote some stories for the New York Times. How would you have described your night, Tiki?
Tonight, I'd probably have to say I came through in every facet that I was out there for. On special teams, we went to our no-huddle offense, and we got in a 2-minute drill at the end of the game. Things were just clicking well for me. It was a big game, and I had to make some plays. 231
yards of combined offense. Tell us about the touchdown.
The touchdown, it worked out perfect. We've been practicing that. We've got close a couple times in the past couple weeks, and everybody had their blocks, and I just had to outrun the kicker and another guy and dance my way in the end zone.
I saw the first person to hug you after the game was Michael Strahan, a couple of defensive players. I guess that rift is over.
Yeah, I think it never really was a rift. They were disappointed in us a little bit, and we've been pulling together. That's what our purpose for our meetings were this last week. We wanted to pull together. They were right for us no matter what we did, and we're rooting for them, and it pays off.
Well, before I let you go, tell everybody what your real name is and what it means.
My real name is Ateem Kiambu. It means fiery tempered king.
Well,
I'm not too fiery tempered, but I like to get hot sometimes.
You're pretty fired up tonight. Thanks a lot, Tiki. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Leslie. Well, he's the king of New York, or at least the king of the Meadowlands tonight, is Tiki Barber. He is the story as the Giants, if they are to resurrect their season, have done it against the Cowboys by a score of 13-10. We go to Pittsburgh next week. It'll be the Steelers against the Atlanta Falcons on Monday Night Football. Again, the Giants win it tonight over the Cowboys 13-10. Al Michaels for Boomer Esiason and Leslie Visser saying goodnight from East Rutherford, New Jersey. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com. Now stay tuned to ABC for your late local news or other programming. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, continuing the tradition of excellence.